In lesson 2, we are going to continue talking about the partial product method to help us multiply 2-digit by 1-digit numbers. And we're going to be talking about the 4 steps again. So step 1 was when you broke apart that 2-digit number. So 54 becomes 50 plus 4. Step 2 is when you take what's inside your parentheses and multiply it by that single digit number. So I'm going to get 6 times 50 plus 6 times 4. Then step 3 and step 4 is just solving. Step 3, you're going to solve what's inside the parentheses. So 6 times 50 and 6 times 4, that's 300 plus 4. And then your final answer is 324. So let's take a look at the try this. Now, when you do this on your own, I have done examples for you. So you're going to be in charge of doing the even numbers, and I'm going to go through the odd numbers. So 3 times 44, and it wants us to only use step 1 and step 2 here. Okay, so 3 times 44, I'm going to break apart that 2-digit number, and this is going to become 3 times 40 plus 4. So I got 40 plus 4 from 44. Okay, now I'm going to go down here and do the step 2. So now I'm going to multiply what's inside my parentheses by my 3. Okay, so now this equals 40 times 3 plus 4 times 3. And that's all you have to do. So there's step 1 and step 2. Let's take a look at number 3. 7 times 38. So this becomes 7 times 30 plus 8. And I got my 30 plus 8 from 38. So now step 2, I'm going to do down here. I'm going to take what's inside my parentheses and multiply it by this single digit. So this would be 30 times 7 plus 8 times 7. And there's step 1 and step 2. Let's take a look at number 5. 41 times 7. This would be 7 times 40 plus 1. I got my 40 plus 1 from 41. So now my step 2 would be 40 times 7 plus 1 times 7. So I took what's inside my parentheses and multiplied it by the single digit number. On the practice, I'm going to be changing the directions here. When you guys do the evens, which would be 8, 10, 12, and 14, you are just going to solve with calculator. But when we do 7, 9, 11, and 13, we are going to practice using the partial product method because that's what we are learning about here. Okay? So that means I have to do step 1 and step 2, and then you will do the solving step 3. So on number 7, and on 7 and 9, I have done step 1 and step 2 for you. So I'm just going to do one example, and that's number 7. So 8 times 33, this is going to be 8 times 30 plus 3. In my step 2, I'm going to take what's inside parentheses and solve that single digit number. So this is going to equal, and I'm going to write below here, this is going to equal 30 times 8 plus 8 times 3. And then you would solve 30 times 8 and 8 times 3. And then on number 11, I do step 1 for you, and this is where you're going to work on doing step 2. So on number 11 and 13, you're going to do step 2 and step 3. So let's take a look at number 11, 4 times 88. So this is going to be 4 times 80 plus 8. There's step 1. Now step 2, I'm going to take what's inside my parentheses and multiply. So this is going to become 80 times 4, I forgot my parentheses, plus 4 times 8. And then you're going to solve 80 times 4 and 4 times 8. So 80 times 4 would be 320 plus 4 times 8 is 32. So then you would add together 320 plus 32. On number 15, it says, Juan's father works 37 hours a week. How many hours will he work in 4 weeks? Excuse me there. So here we're just going to set up a multiplication problem. Now I'm going to show you the old-fashioned way. So 37 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. Put down your 8, carry your 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So that would be 148 hours. Or you could solve that in your calculator. We are not going to do the reflect. I have also changed the directions on this worksheet. So the even numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8, you are going to solve with calculator. Okay, so just these numbers. And then you're going to use the partial product method on 1, 3, 5, and 7. So on 1 and 3, I have done step 1 and step 2 for you. And then on 5 and 7, I have just done step 1. So on 5 and 7, we're going to see a little bit more work from you. So let's go ahead and do an example from each one. So on number 1, 7 times 42. Step 1, I'm going to break apart my 2-digit number. So this becomes 7 times 40 plus 2. This equals, here, start step 2, 40 times 7 plus 7 times 2. Now you're going to solve. 40 times 7 is 280 plus 7 times 2 is 14. So now 280 plus 14 is 294. All right, let's take a look at number 5. 2 times 93. Step 1, I'm going to break apart that 2-digit number. So this becomes 2 times 90 plus 3. Now I'm going to take what's inside my parentheses and multiply it by this outside digit here. So this becomes 90 times 2 plus 3 times 2. So now you just have to solve. 90 times 2 is 180 plus 3 times 2 is 6. 180 let me put that 8 back in. 180 plus 6, that would equal 186. So again, on the odds, you're going to show your work and do the partial product method. On 2, 4, 6, and 8, you can solve with your calculator.